ICT, other research scholars, I wish a very good morning to all of you. And myself, Neeti Gupta, research scholar from School of ICT. I am here today to give my pre-submission presentation under the able guidance of Dr. Vidushi Sharma from School of ICT. And the title of my thesis is Spectrum Efficient Techniques in IoT. So moving on with my presentation, I'll briefly introduce it. IoT is a platform which is connecting people with their things while giving them the power to remotely monitor and control them. There are various definitions given by people. However, the basic idea here is to provide exchange of useful information between real world devices, which can be identified uniquely. And this exchange of useful information is possible with the help of wireless sensor networks, which forms a basic building block of these IoT architectures. So these IoT services are basically relying upon wireless communication for connectivity. There are various wireless protocols and standards which are using either the licensed portion of spectrum or the unlicensed portion of spectrum for providing communication and connectivity in IoT architectures. However, whether it comes from licensed or unlicensed, the spectrum is limited when we talk about wireless communication, and the already occupied bands like ISM band at 2.4 gigahertz, they are already very crowded with the ever increasing IoT applications. The IoT applications and the number of connected devices are increasing at such a fast pace that we need to come up with solutions, we need to come up with tools and techniques that are more spectrum efficient, that are more bandwidth saving, that are more power saving as well. So this scenario where the applications are increasing, where the connected devices are increasing, but we have limited resources, that will sooner or later lead to poor quality of communication. And finally, we need to come up with better solutions. So spectrum saving techniques like hybridization, which integrates wired and wireless technologies, data aggregation, efficient load balancing mechanisms, and routing techniques are required that make the systems more energy efficient, as spectrum efficient as well as energy efficient. Since these wireless sensor nodes are battery powered, energy is also a constraint. And so while maintaining, or we can say while balancing the spectral efficiency, we should not forget this aspect also, which must be taken care of. So an in-depth literature review was done over the spectrum efficient techniques in IoT, and the various techniques were investigated. And finally, we come up with two main areas which have been investigated further in this research work. The first main area was connectivity oriented techniques, which includes hybridization of wired and wireless architectures for sensor networks, which are deployed for IoT applications. And the another area that we focused in our research work is load balancing management and routing techniques. In this area, we basically worked upon the data aggregation mechanisms at the level of end devices or host nodes, and we worked upon RPL. RPL is a routing protocol for low power and lossy networks, or rather, I should say, it is a de facto routing protocol for IoT applications. And we have worked upon this in Contiki operating system using Kuja simulation tool. Then moving on with these two areas, which were identified as the domains, or we can say the areas for research work, the following problems were identified. It was found that the potential of hybridization has been investigated mainly with sensor-oriented architectures and not as a whole for IoT platforms. And this integration needs to be investigated particularly for the front-end data collection part. A generic architecture was required for hybrid network architectures, and efficient link selection algorithms and techniques were required to select between the two networks, wired and wireless networks. The existing work shows the use of routers, switches, which were actually increasing the cost and complexity of the networks, and they were also not very energy efficient solutions. Also, limited work was undertaken in data balancing and management at sensor node and other higher levels of IoT. Efficient data balancing management techniques were required to be developed with an aim to enhance the network throughput. And generic schemes, algorithms, and protocols were required to be developed, which are independent of the type of information sensed, with a complete performance analysis. Finally, as I have already mentioned, that since energy is also an important aspect, while increasing the spectral efficiency, energy efficiency should also be taken care of. Therefore, a trade-off between these two parameters is very essential, and it has to be studied in whatever mechanism we are proposing, whatever technique we are proposing. Finally, the four objectives were fixed during the RDC. They were to propose spectrum efficient sensor based architecture for IoT application, then to develop techniques and algorithms for reducing spectrum crowding. Third one was to analyze and optimize spectrum crowding and performance parameters of the proposed technique or algorithm. And finally, we were required to perform a trade-off analysis between spectrum and energy efficiency of the proposed technique or algorithm. My RDC was approved, and after that, I have undergone through 4 progress presentations. And this is the pre-presentation, pre-submission presentation. So finally, this one is the flow chart, or we can say a diagrammatic representation of the entire work which we have done in this research work. And objective wise, I have divided it. So after literature review, as I have already discussed, 2 major areas were identified: connectivity oriented techniques and load balancing management and routing techniques. So in connectivity oriented techniques and load balancing management techniques, I will move objective wise, and I will show what all the work has been done in various areas and what are the publications out of it. In this diagram also I have mentioned, for example, moving on with objective 1. In objective 1, we did a complete analysis for hybridized networks which are already deployed for IoT applications. A fuzzy Topsis technique was used to evaluate the preferred network type for these applications, and a generalized framework was proposed for sensor network based IoT architectures with an intelligent gateway that is based upon a machine learning based classifier. Out of this work, I have a conference, a paper published in IEEE conference proceedings, that is Scopus indexed, and another paper is under review in a Springer journal, which is SCI indexed. So in objective 1, we did a very deep study about the various hybrid architectures which have been deployed for sensor network based IoT. And finally, the hybrid were having 2 major classification: partially wired and wireless networks and completely wired and wireless networks. The partial ones were again divided into radio over fiber and radio and fiber architectures. The study was done over 4 major application areas: structural health monitoring, including underwater pipeline monitoring architectures, environmental monitoring, smart home, and healthcare. Fuzzy Topsis technique was used to determine the suitable network type for these 4 different types of applications. And Topsis is basically a technique of order preference by similarity to ideal solution, and it provides a systematic method, a systematic evaluation of the various alternatives based upon multiple criteria. A triangular fuzzy number is represented as a triplet, and which is based upon the membership function, which is given as. Then these are the fuzzy ratings for linguistic variables which were used in the work. I'm not showing the entire results, only for one application. For smart home, I have shown the results, assuming that there were 2 decision makers, and based upon these 8 different criteria, R1 to R8, for smart home, we find out the fuzzy ratings. We set the fuzzy ratings for 2 different decision makers, and the criteria weightage as well for 2 different decision makers. These are the aggregate fuzzy decision matrix values. Normalized aggregate fuzzy decision matrix values were evaluated. Then weighted normalized fuzzy decision matrix were evaluated, from which we find fuzzy positive ideal solution and fuzzy negative ideal solution. Finally, the distance of this weighted normalized fuzzy decision matrix values were evaluated from fuzzy positive ideal solution and fuzzy negative ideal solution, which resulted in this table. And finally, closeness coefficient was evaluated. So this closeness coefficient for this different alternatives, we have 3 alternatives here: wired networks, completely wireless networks, and hybrid networks. So based for these 3 different alternatives, we evaluated the closeness coefficient, and we did an analysis that for which particular type of application, depending upon its specific requirements, which are the preferences of these networks, what are the preferences of these alternatives. This was the complete, we can say, summarized result. And this paper has been presented in a IEEE based conference, and it has been published in IEEE conference proceedings, which is Scopus indexed. Finally, we presented a generalized framework for completely wired and wireless IoT network architectures. Here in the perception layer and in the network layer, the research work is basically done on 2 layers, for perception layer and for network layer. For perception layer, we have proposed some hybrid designs, which I'll discuss later in this presentation. And for the network layer, we discussed a design of an intelligent gateway. The purpose was to come up with some solution which without increasing the cost and complexity of networks like additional switches and additional routers. The aim was to develop an intelligent gateway that is capable of traffic analysis, that is capable of appropriate link selection between wired and wireless networks. So this was the gateway framework in which the incoming user tasks were classified based upon a ML classifier, machine learning based task classifier, and then depending upon the inputs from the link health monitor, which continuously monitors the health status of wired and wireless links, a decision is made that whether we have to select a wired link or a wireless link for a particular user query or for a particular user task. Three different algorithms, machine learning algorithms, were chosen for this. First was K nearest neighbor algorithm, decision tree algorithm, and support vector machine algorithms. These three algorithms were applied to some data sets in the classification learner app of MATLAB, and defining the rules for classification. We did the we trained these we trained our data sample with these algorithms and check out the results for the accuracy of these three over the results. In classification learner app of MATLAB, we checked and find out a comparative analysis among the three algorithms in which decision tree gave the highest accuracy. And these are the receiver operating characteristic curves for these three techniques, KNN, SVM, and DT. And it is plotted between the true positive value, true positive rate as a function of false positive rate. And it is actually a measure of the, we can say, the performance assessment of a classifier, ML classifier. So greater is the area under this curve and better is the performance of that classifier. So as it is also visible from these curves that the performance of decision tree was very good in as compared to the other two techniques that were used. So this was all about objective one, in which we did a fuzzy Topsis based classification. We proposed a generalized framework and intelligent gateway with ML based classifier and techniques. The results have been obtained with classifier learner app of MATLAB. One of the paper has been published in Scopus Index and one of the paper is under review in SCI Index journal. Moving on to objective 2, we performed data aggregation. We moved with data aggregation mechanisms at the end devices or at the level of data collecting sensor nodes. For this, we proposed an algorithm which is power aware aggregated search. Search is actually a stochastic election of appropriate range cluster heads. It is a data aggregation mechanism which is used in hierarchical sensor networks, and it ends up with giving a particular cluster head at the end of each round. Depending upon that, aggregation takes place at the level of cluster heads. Now, instead of performing the data aggregation at the level of cluster heads, we proposed that if the data aggregation mechanism is performed at the level of data collecting sensor nodes, at the level of end devices or host nodes, that will be more power saving, that will be more bandwidth saving as well. That will be resulting in more efficient results. So for this study, in the GBU lab only, we performed some experiments by using the Iris modes and MIB 520 interfacing board, USB connector, and a local PC. And in real time, we took some readings from the temperature sensor at an interval of 30 seconds. A like function was applied on these readings. And finally, simulation was done in MATLAB using a 100-node network, and we varied the number of rounds for which the search algorithm runs from 0 to 8,000. And these were the simulation parameters that were used. These are the comparative results that we obtained in MATLAB for search and power-aware aggregated search. The packet transfer rate or throughput was greatly significantly increased for the proposed algorithm. Since the spectral efficiency of a system is directly proportional to the data rate, or we can say the packet transfer rate, so it will directly affect the spectral efficiency of a system. These are the results for energy dissipation profile of search and power-aware aggregated search. The energy consumption was significantly reduced with the proposed technique. And also, as it can be seen from here, in the previous algorithm, in the search algorithm, the entire network gets exhausted up to around 3000 rounds, whereas in the case of proposed algorithm, the energy consumption was slow, and or we can say the entire network gets exhausted at around 5000 rounds, which clearly means that by this the number of the network lifetime was increased. So this is the number of alive nodes per round for search and power PWA search. This paper is also presented in the IEEE based conference in Amity University, and it is published in IEEE conference proceedings, which is Scopus indexed. After that, we did a complete analysis of RPL, which is the routing protocol for low power and lossy networks using Contiki operating system. RPL is basically a protocol that organizes a network of sensor nodes in a directed acyclic graphs. And these directed acyclic graphs are further classified into destination-oriented DAGs. These destination-oriented DAGs are arranged for a particular sink, and then route finding, or we can say the routing of the data from source node to sink node happens by finding the route that minimizes the path cost. So here, this path cost minimization presents an optimization problem, which is based upon the RPL objective functions. Currently, this RPL protocol supports two objective functions, which are objective function 0 and MRHOF, minimum rank hysteresis objective function. So in this, first of all, we proposed a generalized parent selection algorithm for minimum rank hysteresis objective function, which was a novel work. And we gave the mathematical analysis of path cost for different objective functions. For objective function 0, it was simply based upon the rank increase. For MRHOF, that is minimum rank hysteresis objective function, with no matrix selected, it was based upon rank. For matrix selection, ETX is expected transmission count. For expected transmission count, it was the rank plus the ETX value, the expected transmission count from the node, which is the candidate parent, which can be the candidate parent node. Similarly, for energy, we defined the path cost analysis, and we gave path cost analysis for hybrid objective functions as well, for ETX plus energy. For example, when we are combining two matrices. So this was a novelty of this work. The various objective functions which we defined and on the basis of path cost, they were simulated in Contiki operating system using Kuja simulation tool, and we did the simulations for by varying the quality of link level by 20%, 40%, and 80%. The successful reception percentage was varied so that we can check the network behavior when the links are very lossy, when the links are partially lossy, and when there is very high loss. And the number of nodes were taken as 15 and 30. We did the simulations on 15 and 30 nodes. And these entire simulations were averaged over 10 simulation results. And the error bars are there, which are showing the 95% confidence interval in each case. So first of all, I'm showing the result for the performance evaluation of various objective functions for PDR, packet delivery ratio. Similarly, we obtained the results for power consumption, for hop count, average ETX, expected transmission count, which is a measure of the number of transmissions which are required from source to destination. So based upon this metric, a path can be selected from source to destination, which provides obviously the path which leads to lower average ETX will be the best path which will be selected. Then routing metric, average churn, which gives the measure of instability of a protocol. For example, if the number of parent switches are more, if the number of parent switches are more, obviously the average churn will be higher. If the churn for a particular objective function is low, it means it provides more stability to the protocol, and the number of frequent parent changes gets reduced. And inter-packet time, which gives a measure of latency in the network. These are the summarized results of RPL objective functions performance evaluation, in which we observed that for highly lossy networks. For highly lossy and low networks with up to 15 nodes, MRHOF ETX plus energy, that is the hybrid objective functions, which for which we defined the path cost functions, for which we gave the path cost formulas. That objective function actually gave a very outstanding performance in terms of PDR, in terms of power consumption, in terms of hop count, average ETX, RT metric, etc. However, if we talk about the routing instability, in that case, routing instability is higher for MRHOF ETX plus energy for a hybrid protocol objective function. This is because there are a large number of constraints which are associated with it, and frequent parent changes happens. But when we talk about objective function 0, it is giving the lowest average churn. This is because the number of parent changes are very few. However, it is not leading to a better objective function because of its low PDR, high power consumption, and so on. Therefore, it was concluded that a hybrid objective function which is combining two or more than two matrix, maybe it is the future perspective of it, we can combine even more than two matrix in it. So a hybrid objective function provides an enhanced performance. However, we need to check its routing instability at the same time. This paper has been published in Springer Journal, which is SCI indexed with a good impact factor. Then at the level of architecture design, we proposed a hybrid design at the level of perception layer. As I discussed previously in my previous slides, where I gave the entire architecture a generalized framework for IoT applications, there I mentioned that at the perception layer we did some work. So at the perception layer, we studied the state-of-art solutions which are already available. And so this was a design one which came out from the state-of-art results, that there are applications which deploy some nodes with wired connections and some node with wireless connections. This is commonly deployed in industrial IoT setups. This is another architecture which is also commonly deployed in industrial applications of IoT, where there are seamless integration of wired and wireless architectures at the perception layer. Here, the commonly used protocols are PLC, power line communication, and wireless protocols vary. It may be Zigbee, it may be Wi-Fi. So there, we found that in design 1 and design 2, there were some flaws. For design 1, there is no standby network if a particular link fails. And for design 2, the complexity was very high. The complexity is high, plus for hybrid nodes, for enabling the nodes with hybrid functionality, we need to add a lot of circuitry to the transceivers, which results in energy inefficient solutions. So we came up with an intermediate solution where we proposed that instead of hybridizing the entire network, what we can do is, in a multi-hop wireless sensor networks, the potential jump nodes must be identified, and the potential jump nodes must be given this hybridization. These nodes must be hybridized to enhance the performance of a particular network. Then, in order to evaluate the reliability of data transmission by these three designs, we did Markov modeling. State transition diagrams were developed for all these three designs. This one is for design 1, in which there are 3 states: healthy state, failure state, and jump state. In all these, we have assumed two-hop communication for wireless sensor networks. That means if a particular node fails, it can jump over one. Up to 2 hops are possible. This one is for design 2, in which in addition to healthy state, jump state, and failed state, we have a standby state as well. And this was a state transition diagram developed for design 3. Then continuous time Markov differential equations were developed for the 3 designs, for 1, 2, and 3. In all of the study, we have assumed that the failure rate is lambda and the repair rate is mu for wired as well as wireless links. And the initial conditions are considered that at time t equals to 0, the system was in healthy state. Finally, the performance parameters were evaluated for these 3 designs based upon the continuous time Markov equations that we get. For design 1, 2, and 3, we evaluated the reliability of data transmission as in probabilistic terms, which is the probability of a system in any other state other than the failed state. So we get the equations for the reliability of data transmission by the 3 designs. Then we perform spectral efficiency evaluation for the three designs. For design 1, it is the average of 2. For design 2, it is design 2 has an advantage of very high spectral efficiency because it is providing two networks in parallel. So it is enhancing the channel capacity to a great level. For design 3, which was our proposed design, the spectral efficiency was limited by the Minkut-Max flow theorem, which states that if there are different number of pipes with different diameters which are connected in series, then in such a case, the water carrying capacity of a system that will be limited by the pipe having the smallest diameter. The same thing applies here with spectral efficiency. When we have a number of networks connected in series, there are sometimes there is a only wireless, sometimes at some level there is a combination of wired and wireless. However, the capacity will be limited by the smallest one, the lowest spectral efficiency. Then we also evaluated the effective spectral efficiency, which is over the operation of a system. Since the reliability of data transmission gets affected, and therefore the spectral efficiency will also get affected. So effective spectral efficiency was also evaluated for the three designs. For spectral efficiency evaluation of wired networks, we use PLC channel modeling, power line communication, because this was a choice because in most of the industrial setup nowadays which are deploying actually IoT setups, they are deploying PLC networks. And similarly, average capacity per bandwidth for wireless channel was evaluated. The simulation was done in MATLAB. Failure rate and repair rates were set, and we evaluated the transition intensity matrix, Q matrix, for all the continuous time Markov chains that were developed. Initial states was set, which I have already mentioned, that at time t equals to 0, it was assumed that the system was in healthy state. All these simulations were averaged over the 10 simulation runs, and in each simulation there were 100 random walks through different states. The results are averaged over days. These were the reliability of results for reliability of data transmission. It includes simulated results and analytical results, or we can say mathematical results. So the mathematical results are depicted by the lines, whereas the simulated results are depicted by the markers. And the error bars are here, which are showing 95% confidence interval for the simulated results. As it can be seen from this graph, that the simulated results and the mathematical results are validating each other. Or I should say the simulated results are validating the mathematical findings. And in this case, design 1 and 2, and this is design 3. These are the results, 3 results for design 3. The proposed design is giving an outstanding reliability of data transmission while reducing the system complexity as well. And design 3 has been evaluated for 3 different cases. Here, case 1 is when the probability of a jump node being associated with a hybrid network, that means both wired and wireless links, is 0.25, or we can say 25%. And case 2 is when the probability of a jump node being associated with a hybrid network is 0.5. And case 3 is when this probability is 0.75. That is, moving on from case 1 to case 3, we are increasing the probability of a jump node being associated with a hybrid link. As expected, as this probability increases, the reliability of data transmission is increasing. These are the spectral efficiency results for the 3 designs. This is for the case when the signal to noise ratio for PLC has been taken equal to the signal to noise ratio for wireless channels, that is equal to 30 dB. Design 2, as I have already mentioned, that it is combining two, since it is combining 2 networks in parallel, it is taking the advantage of an additional channel capacity, is giving the highest results. However, the proposed design is also giving appreciable results in this range. This is for the case when the SNR for PLC is 30 dB and the SNR for wireless channel is 10 dB. And this is for the case when the signal to noise ratio for wireless channel is 30 dB and the signal to noise ratio for PLC channel is 10 dB. So from here we can conclude that the spectral efficiency of the proposed network is also appreciable and almost close to the design to a parallel combination of wired and wireless networks. Its reliability of data transmission is extremely high. Then moving on to objective 4, we proposed that the objective was to evaluate the energy efficiency of the proposed technique and to see the spectral efficiency and energy efficiency trade-off. So for these three designs also, we also evaluated the energy efficiency. For energy efficiency evaluation, we considered the power consumption results of the hybrid transceivers. The completely wired transceiver for narrowband PLC was considered, for which the power consumption in milliwatts is 311.92 milliwatts. For hybrid PLC wireless and for completely wireless transceiver, we checked these power consumptions. And for 80 kbps of data transmission at the rate of 80 kbps, we evaluated the energy efficiency for wired, wireless, and hybrid transceiver. Based upon these results and the equations which we developed for energy efficiency, the energy efficiency in kilobits per joule was evaluated for the various designs. For the three cases of design 3, which I discussed, by increasing the probability of a jump node being associated with a hybrid link. These are the effective energy efficiency results for the three. From here, it can be seen that the proposed design is giving very high energy efficiency as compared to design 1 and design 2. Finally, a trade-off was checked. In order to maintain a balance between spectral energy and efficiency, we evaluated a trade-off. We did a trade-off analysis. It was observed that when a system increases its power consumption to improve its HC, it consumes a major portion of bandwidth in order to maximize its EE. That means if a system wants to increase its spectral efficiency, it needs to increase its power consumption. However, increasing the power consumption will result in decrease in energy efficiency of a system. Whereas when it tries to maximize its energy efficiency, it tries to occupy a major portion of bandwidth. And when it occupies a major portion of bandwidth, on the other hand, it is compromising on the spectral efficiency of a system. Therefore, the two parameters are somewhere related, and an increment in one can lead to a decrement in the other. Therefore, there needs to be need to maintain a balance between the two so that both can be maintained at appreciable levels. Through literature review, it was observed that the power consumption of a transceiver is significantly affected by the transmitted power. According to a study, it has been shown that if SNR improves by 20 dB, the transceiver power consumption increases by about 50%. Based upon that study, we did a trade-off analysis for spectral efficiency, energy efficiency, based upon as a function of SNR. And we found that as the SNR increases, the spectral efficiency increases. However, at some point, the energy efficiency starts declining. So there must be an upper bound on the signal to noise ratio. It should not be increased without any levels, without any keeping a eye on the energy efficiency of a system. We need to keep an eye on the energy efficiency of the system as well, so that it should not be increased beyond a particular level. So this was the fourth objective that was achieved with SEE trade-off and energy efficiency results analysis. And this entire work is under review in IEEE journal with SCI index. A total of 4 papers have been presented in different conferences, including an international conference as well. And these are the papers which have been published. 2 in Scopus Index conference proceedings and 1 in SCI Index journal. And one is under, two are under review. This is the thesis outline. In chapter 1, we'll discuss the motivation, general literature review, problem identification, objectives, research methodology, and chapter scheme. Chapter 2 will give a literature review, a complete review of the spectrum efficient techniques for IoT. In chapter 3, different hybridization techniques have been discussed for IoT with the fuzzy logic evaluation, the Topsis evaluation that I discussed. Chapter 4 has the Markov based assessment of the models and simulation results. Chapter 5 with spectrum efficient and energy efficient techniques and the trade-off analysis. Chapter 6 with the intelligent gateway design and context-aware hybrid network architecture for IoT, along with the machine learning techniques which have been used for the user task classification and intelligent link selection. Chapter 7 with the data aggregation and power balancing mechanisms for spectral efficient LLMs. And Chapter 8 with a complete study of RPL objective functions and improved RPL objective functions. Chapter 9 finally with conclusions and future work. During the course of the project, I have also attended some workshops, webinars, FBPs and invited talks. And as my other accomplishment, I am also, I have successfully completed 1 year of a project under Women Scientist Scheme under the Department of Science and Technology. And I'm going through the 2nd year of my project. This is one of the other publication. And references. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Neeti. Panel members, SRC members, if you have any queries or any questions, all the members, in fact, presented in the meeting.
Yeah, Nitya,
Ji, sir.
I would like to ask you, when you started your presentation, you said that there are 2 types of this bandwidth, authorized, unauthorized. Was it that or something different language was there?
Ji, sir, wireless and wireless spectrum, the licensed one and the unlicensed one.
Unlicensed one, what is it?
सर जो स्पेक्ट्रम ये जो हमारी बैंडविड्थ होती है इनका जो डिवीजन बेसिकली मुझे ये मिला था ITU की एक रिपोर्ट से दैट वाज द क्लासिफिकेशन देयर गिवन देयर फॉर द बैंडविड्थ.
When you say unlicensed mean what?
Sir,
or we say something which is licensed one, what does it mean?
Sir, exactly. Sir, I think it should be the licensed one should be which is dedicated for certain specific for certain specific areas.
Speculation nahi, just say that this is this, or either you have to find out it. One thing. Second thing, when you are talking about the frequencies, that you cannot have the output power and efficiency, there should be some specific ratio for a specific thing. Then the threshold is there. There should be a threshold of the frequency of the energy. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
So you have not calculated that one. Don't say that way. Specifically, you should say that this is that frequency, beyond which there will be a disturbance or whatever you are going to get it. Okay.
ठीक है सर मैं देखती हूँ मैं
उस तरह का वर्ड नहीं जाना चाहिए जो क्वांटिटेटिव.
ठीक है जी सर.
ठीक है ना. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ?
सर आपकी आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है बीच में.
What do you understand by 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth?
Sir, that is basically ISM band that is dedicated for IoT applications in industrial, scientific, and medical fields.
See, if you are saying specifically 2.4 gigahertz, it means is it a band or it is a specific frequency? Do you understand the difference between band and?
जी sir. Band is actually band is a range of frequencies. It should be having an upper value and lower value and a range, a band. and a specific frequency means ki at that particular point only.
Uh-huh. So in this case, when you say 2.4 gigahertz का band है, what does
जी
it
sir.
mean?
Sir, the specific band, the 2.4 gigahertz, it has been reserved for industrial, scientific, and medical purpose of IoT
नहीं,
applications.
it is 2.4 gigahertz. FWHM there is something different. Plus minus, what is that?
Sir, that I will check. Sir, that I will check in detail.
Because when you are working
Ji sir.
in here, there are certain bands only which are permissible range of frequencies which can pass through that. All frequencies cannot pass. Okay.
ठीक है sir.
So what is or
सर आपकी वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है बहुत ज्यादा सर.
चलो, I will discuss later on. Thank you.
Thank you for your input, sir.
Hello.
Ji
Any
ma'am.
other queries from the members? Pradeep sir.
हेलो, हाँ जी मैम.
Sir, कोई queries or should we wind up the presentation?
कुछ नहीं है क्वेरी, बहुत अच्छा काम किया है. गुड, करिए.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you all the research scholars, all the faculty members, Dean sir, Pradeep sir. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Neeta ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, SRC members and Dean sir.